Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the More Survivalists, and in this case talking about the incident in Greenwood Park Mall where this young man, Elijah Dickens, ended with an active shooter that had already killed 3 people with an AR-15. Apparently he used his Glock 9mm. I don't know the exact model. If you do know, let me know in the comments below. But Glock 9mm, you really can't go wrong with that. Anyway, there's a lot to unpack here. One of the things that we apparently know so far, again, this could change, but apparently he's not a cop, he's not military, he's not special forces. Apparently he hasn't even got any actual firearms training, any professional firearms training on using guns for combat, for self-defense. Apparently none of that. He still acted, in a perfect manner. Apparently, again, we don't know the exact details of everything, but apparently the active shooter started shooting. I don't know if it was his girlfriend. They were at the food court, and it seems to be that the girlfriend is the one that first saw the long gun and told him, or the guy started shooting. Anyway, he took action. He moved towards the threat with his Glock. He told his girlfriend to take cover, even indicated for people to move away, got close, and at a 40-meter or 40-yard range, shot apparently 10 times, hitting 8 times, which is incredible. I mean, I'm not even talking about cops. People have these fantasies about what cops and military are capable of doing. Forget it. If you think that your average cop or your average soldier is going to be shooting a Glock at 40 yards away and hitting a moving target, a guy with a gun, 8 times out of 10, you're nuts. You don't know how these statistics work. Usually, hit rate is about 15%, 20%, give or take, exactly on what police department you're looking at. But man, it is extremely high. You don't get those numbers just by accident. And either a lot of training, which apparently this guy hasn't got that. He hasn't got a significant amount of training, or apparently any training whatsoever. He's probably an individual, if this is the case, he's probably an individual that remains extremely calm in difficult situations, maybe a very calm person in general, and he managed to remain cool during a very dangerous and stressful moment and apply the basics. Now, the basics that he applied, this is the stuff that is just as simple as this. You draw, take aim, pull the trigger without moving the gun. That's the key of hitting your target. It doesn't matter if you're a world record shooter, if you're best shooter on the planet. It's simply a matter of keeping your gun still as you pull the trigger and not move the gun. Now, that's a lot easier to say than do. This is the reason why people spend years training, trying to achieve that in stressful moments while moving. And the perfect shot is just keeping your gun still. It's not really all that difficult to align your sights. What is difficult is doing this without moving the rest of the gun as you shoot. That's pretty much the aspect in which most of the training goes towards, and doing that at speed. Now, what he was able to do here, it's quite incredible. It's quite impressive. At 40 yards, again, I'd really love to have actual facts about exactly how much distance it was. Was it really 8 out of 10 rounds that he hit? That is pretty amazing. Apparently he did, use support. I don't know if it was a wall or a column or a beam or something. And even just making that decision, if it happened like that, if he had the hindsight of using a wall or something to stabilize or get another point of contact, that's the kind of thing you actually learn in training. And one of the things that I really want to get rid of is this myth and this stupid idea that you see, he did all that without any kind of training. You don't need any training. No, that is an awful advice. That is terrible advice. You do need training. Yes, the basics do work, but the more training you have, the better it will be for you. The more likely you are to be successful in a situation like this. Just hoping for the best without, it just usually doesn't work that way. You need a calm, steady individual to do that sort of thing, especially with no training. And yes, there's a matter of luck involved here as well, because if the first round that is fired by the shooter goes directly to you, no matter how much training or no matter how much luck you have, or bad luck in that case, it's gonna be making no difference. Now, everything you do so as to improve your position in situations like these is gonna be working in your favor. Okay, the choice of gun is actually a pretty solid piece of advice right there. What I say in my videos, what I explain in my book, I don't screw around with much. Get yourself a Glock 9mm. That's what I explain in the book. That's why I explained in my first book many years ago. It's the same thing. Just stick to the basics, because so many guys have these crappy little mouse guns because it's just comfortable to carry in their pocket. You know how difficult it would be for you to make this kind of shot with a single action North American gun company little single action 22 revolver shooting at 40 yards away and bringing down a guy with an AR. Dude, I'm not saying it's impossible, because yeah, it is still within the realm of possibilities. It is going to be extremely difficult. Now, a Glock, even with a compact Glock, I really wouldn't want to have anything less than a Glock 19. The more of a small gun you go with, usually even the subcompact Glocks are very accurate. Still, a Glock, that's one of the first smart thing he did was, an intelligent decision in his carry gun. Not messing around with anything that was comfortable, going with something that actually works. And then, yes, the cool head of, staying calm in that moment. Now, I insist, get yourself training. Be smart about the gun you have, but do get training. It's going to be working so much better for you if you ever need it. It's going to be improving your chances of success. And then, of course, lots of things. And, the basics that I explain here, I've learned in classes in different countries with different instructors. Always people that know what they're doing. Don't waste your time with, if these fantasy, instructors floating around. Find yourself someone that has a good reputation in the community. Believe me, it's going to be so much. You don't understand how good of an investment it is until you actually do it. At least get yourself one class. They're going to be explaining the same things I explained there in the book. In the book, I explained the basic concepts that I've learned in classes with different people that teach the same thing all over the world, basically. There's really nothing reinventing the wheel here. Basic things like correct drawing, taking aim and shooting, even stuff like, how you handle extreme, which is not the case here, but something that happens quite often as well. Instead of, it actually happens a lot more often than a 40-yard shot, the way in which you handle people at extreme close distance. How is it that you shoot from a position of someone pretty much on top of you? And not just that, but even stuff like, where is it you're going to be sitting? He was in a food court, in a mall. Now, what if you're in a restaurant? Where is it that you're going to be sitting? Is that going to be making a difference? How much of a difference does that make? And all of these things come into play. Stuff like this. Well, I sit with my back against the wall. Okay, do you actually notice your exit points? Your back in the wall, where? Are you looking directly at the only entry point in case someone walks through that door with a gun? All of these things, all of these strategies, the more you add up good decisions, the more chance you have of being successful in a situation like this, in a situation like the one Elijah Dickens was involved, okay? But please, don't go with this idea. I always recommend my books. This is the stuff I do, and yes, this information is there. 3 survival skills, surviving the economic collapse. This is going to be useful for you, but this will not replace a class with a qualified instructor. That's going to be money so well invested that only when you get it will you truly appreciate it. Now, the basics, do they work? Of course they work. If you have no option in terms of getting training from a qualified instructor, get the book, practice, do those drills, get good at that. It is going to be helping, no doubt whatsoever. See you on the next video, folks. I'm going to be with Matt Bracking tonight. So yeah, I can confirm that already. And we're probably going to be talking about this as well. And I'd love to see what he has to say about it. This is one of these cases in which we are, it's nice to be reaffirmed in the stuff that we talk about and we recommend all the time, that it works. Yes, there's a little bit of luck involved. Yes, the more training you have, the better. Yes, even someone that hasn't got any training, if he just has the right mindset, it definitely can go a very long way as well. See you tonight, guys. Take care.